You know what, gentlemen? I think I'm going to take the honors tonight because being that I was the loser last week, and we did agree on the three-way dance concept. We had a championship match for the Sideline Junkies Saturday Night Wrestlemaniacs PPV PLE Picks Championship tonight between the big guy KG and the People's Choice Don Rodriguez. And it was based off of the Fastlane pay-per-view that just ended tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, just to save somebody else from having to do it, I'm taking the bullet tonight to say that your winner and new Sideline Junkies Saturday Night WrestleManiacs PPV PLE Picks Champion, the People's Choice, Don Rodriguez. But I'm not going to acknowledge him.
See, this is why I don't do these type things. This is why I don't make appearances because this was a hard fought and tough loss here. I will say that.
Oh yeah, y'all took it to the wire now. Y'all made it exciting. I mean,
who knew John Cena was going to end his 5-year pay-per-view streak? Just so much. Just
Don got the first match with John, with of all people, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso winning the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships on the same night that on AEW Collision, Big Bill and Ricky Starks win the AEW World Tag Team Championships from FTR. So the Nightmare Factory is doing pretty well tonight, it seems like. Then they go into a tie, and I'm saying all this because they didn't announce their picks. So we're going through the matches tonight, pretty much what their picks are. They go to the second match, which was, what was the second match? Could you remind me, KG?
hold on. The second match was that the women's match?
No, wasn't that the third match?
No, it was the Hurt Business versus LWO, and the return of Carlito Colon.
Carlito, yes, which I kind of knew was going to happen when they pulled that mess with.
Shout out to Ross on that one because he called that. He said Carlito gonna be the third man. Shout out to Ross Rudder on that one.
So y'all pretty much tied on that one because y'all both chose who won on that one. But then came the women's match, Asuka versus Io Sky versus Charlotte. Now, somebody picked Io Sky, which was Mr. Don, yes. And somebody picked Charlotte. Now, I didn't pick because I was already out of the running. But that put them at a 1-1-1 tie. So then I put in our group, I was like, whoa, both of y'all picked Seth. So this next match is for the title, which was KG.
John Cena, LA Knight versus the Bloodline. And Cena ended his 5-year streak of losing pay-per-views tonight of all times.
So the man who has been a lifelong fan of John Cena has come through and given this man this title. So I guess without further ado, I believe he's ready to cut his promo. So ladies and gentlemen, your champion, your newly minted champion, first time champion since we've gotten the belts, the people's choice, Don Rodriguez. Sir, the floor is yours.
Ain't life grand? I have wined and dined with kings and queens, had my fair share of pork and beans, talked about the killer bees, and watched people named KG go down because he tried to come after me. Well. I can only imagine what it must look like on the face of KG, considering that he is not on camera tonight. I guess maybe he didn't have a napkin big enough to clean off the crow he has been eating all night long. But it's okay, KG. You can have another chance. November 4th is coming. Maybe we'll do some picks for that. Maybe we'll talk about Saudi Arabia again. Maybe I'll throw you a lifeline and we may do something special. But until then, reigning, defending, undisputed, originator, champion, as it should be, the people's choice, Don Rodriguez. Aren't you tired of hearing that, KG? It's not your first time. Don't be quiet. It's okay. I'll hold you if you need.
See, I'm going to say this to you, and I mean this absolutely from the bottom of my heart. People's choice, Don Rodriguez. Cup of coffee, ladies and gentlemen. This is cup of coffee in the big leagues. This is his cup of coffee. Enjoy your spotlight now. Enjoy it now, because it's short-lived. Cup of coffee. That's what it is. Take your little sip. Savor the flavor for why you came. I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Cup of coffee.
Just hit my music. They hit kind of different now that I'm champion. I just want to let you know that. Maybe just, it's got that extra aura of exceptionalism in the air.
I ain't
Oh,
saying
wait.
nothing.
I
I'm
know
getting
why.
shit talked today because I
I know
lost.
why. Yeah, that doesn't get that hard.
That was below the belt. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was below the that was low. That was a deep cut right there. You didn't have to do that. That was totally unnecessary.
I know he got beef. I know he's salty. You know what, KG? I'm gonna do you a favor. Show's over. Don't be mad, Craig. Don't be mad.
Hey, look, all I'm gonna say is this, okay? I'm gonna congratulate you on having your first win since we got this belt, okay? But like you just said, or like KG just said, savor it now. Enjoy it while you can. Take all the pictures that you can right now, like, because it ain't gonna last long. It's not gonna last long.
I don't need to last forever, but I'm damn sure gonna rub it in your face now. Why not? You ready to talk now, KG? You ready to get down to B's Nass?
Yeah, man, hit me off.
Damn. So I'm gonna go on my world tour. I'm probably gonna end up as a celebratory moment on the Sunday Rise, Thursday Night Throwdown, and whatever other show we do on the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. So you may look forward to seeing me all week long. Just like, I got to do my press tour too. KG, I can't wait to hang out with you, I would imagine. And, who's going to be on the show? Yeah, quite a few people last week. Oop and some other folks I never seen before. Like, shoot, I can hang with them. I can talk something. Shoot, Sumo, you can come too. You ain't got nothing to do. You can come hang out. You brought me here pretty nice.
I got a job, man. I ain't messing around with you. I'm not gonna be your ring announcer. I'm not doing that.
Justin Roberts.
I did that for you tonight, just so I could get so KG wouldn't have to do that. Because I know he was a little upset tonight. So I did that for KG. I ain't doing that for you on a regular basis. So I hope you recorded it other than on here, because that's the only way you getting that out of me again. How about that?
Sound like Neiman Sewell got beef.
No, I ain't got no beef. Just know this. Like I said earlier, enjoy it while you can. Because it ain't gonna last long.
I don't know. Roman Reigns is having a nice little run. How could he?
No, you can have a Roman Reigns run. I'm gonna tell you from you to have a Trish Adora run.
We'll see. I'm gonna have to make a special drive up there to claim was mine. So speaking of claiming, do you think it was worth the TV time to just show Jade Cargill without having her come out tonight?
No. They just wanted to make it official, pretty much. They wasn't gonna put they gonna wait. They're not gonna waste putting her in the ring, knowing that the new television season is gonna start at the end of the month.
But why have her? I wouldn't have had her in her gear. I would have had her, in a dress or something like that. Huh?
Who said that was her gear?
Oh, you think she normally walks around like that? Is what you're saying?
She does photo shoots like that. She's a professional wrestler, and a female professional wrestler at that. You've seen women come out and on promos with less than that on. that wouldn't ring gear.
KG, what's your thoughts?
I lost you for a second, but I I think it was worth it because it got a pop from everybody. I've seen people that I haven't seen talk about wrestling before talk about Jade Cargill showing up at Fastlane. So I'll take the mark out for it now.
Were you happy that Seth won? Do you think we can finally put this Nakamura mess to bed and move him on towards potentially a cash-in situation?
Nakamura, no, because what you gonna do? Bump Nakamura back down to U.S. Championship? I mean, he was below what he should have been in the first place, but I think this is good for him right here. He's in the big leagues, so that's where he needs to be. This is good. They got a great rivalry going.
Yeah, they got at least one or two more matches together, I would think.
What do you guys
And they
think
probably, and if they were going to do it, they would have can't let him cash in. They would have done it tonight, but they gave him that leg injury and talked him out of it. So, yeah, he gonna hold on to that briefcase for a little while longer.
Yeah, what do you guys think about the this theory that's going around that when there was the old briefcase, the traditional green Money in the Bank briefcase, remember there was a little bit of a switch from JD McDonough, and he gave the new one, the purple one. But there was a conversational situation backstage where Finn Balor was talking about, let's make sure we move the contents from the old to the new. There's a rumor theory out there that in that transition, Finn Balor put his name on a contract. So Damian Priest is walking around under this theory with a contract with Finn's name on it. So if Finn had it in his hand and cashed it in, you become champion. Or if Damian cashed it in, but Finn got the pin, Finn will become champion and then start a little civil war within the bloodline. I'm sorry, not the bloodline. I'm thinking about the bloodline because they've been feuding.
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day. So, what's your thoughts on that? Do you think that would be feasible and work? Make sense? Be good TV, or let it play out with Damian the thing?
It's a bit of a stretch. I mean, for it to work, okay, so you're saying that the briefcase that Damian Priest is holding could possibly have a contract with Finn Balor's name on it. So if Finn Balor cashes in and he wins, then it was just a run in.
Now,
But if he does cash in and starts a match, and then Finn Balor comes in and gets the pin, then he becomes world champion or whatever. That's a bit of a stretch.
it's a
And
stretch.
then they would have to explain that. They would have to set that up.
Well, it's long-term storyline. Long-term storyline. It would make a good video package, but something, and this is going to segue into the next thing. Something that kind of makes this make sense is if you just take that concept and that theory and lift it up, carry it over to Wednesday, and set it down in AEW, and then say Christian Cage. Luchasaurus is the champion. Christian Cage is carrying the belt. Then we somehow magically transition to Christian Cage being the champion. That's a little bit of a crazy stretch, but it just happened.
Well, actually, that works better.
I know, but
that works better because, like you said, everybody would think that nobody would really know unless they know the rumor. Because I didn't know, I didn't hear that theory. I've never heard that theory until just now.
Yeah, I've heard
So,
a couple different places. Just digging through the
so
social media.
For Damien to cash in, then win the belt as if he does have the contract. They all come in, they celebrate. Finn jumps Damien.
Randy Orton.
Has the referee with him. Has the referee with him. 1-3. And then he runs out with the belt, then reveals on Monday night.
Remember that?
Yeah, reveals on Monday night about the contract, which because they're going to be like, well, you're not the real champion because he is Damian Priest. Check the briefcase. That could work. That could work.
The injury that we saw now plays in. Damian Priest tries to cash it in, but because of the injury, Finn's like, I got it. I'll do it for you. And that's how Finn gets the pinfall, because instead of it becoming a failed attempt, Finn's like, I'll finish the match for you. And Adam Pearce is like, fine. You'll let him wrestle for you? Like, yeah. Finn gets the coup de grace, 1, 2, 3. Then Damian Priest is like, thank you, man. Like, what do you mean, thank you? I'm the champ. Did you check the contract? So, again, that's their beef. That's a WrestleMania match right there, because you've been carrying around a briefcase with my name on it for well over 6 months. Don't you ever look at the fine print? And that
But you have to look at the contract. I mean, if Finn Balor's name is big as hell on that motherfucker, and you think he would look at the contract at some point and pull it out and be like, yeah, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, but that'd be the general logic. We've only, less than a handful of times actually seen something in the briefcase?
Well, you've seen people's drawers in there, and somebody carried
less than a handful of times we've actually seen the contract in the Money in the Bank briefcase, and that's true, including men and women opportunities. So, like I said, it was just a theory. I was waiting to see if that would play out tonight, but I think it would be pretty cool to see, and it would be almost a mirror of what was happening in AEW, but better long-term storyline, because the Christian Cage thing was like, Christian's just a dick. And Luchasaurus is just getting screwed over in this whole situation, but at least it gets him on TV, so I guess beggars can't be choosers. And gave Jungle Boy something to do until he's got crazy and did his thing. So with that being said, WWE also, just putting things in perspective, is not above extra special petty FUs. We know that Adam Copeland appeared at Wrestle Dream. We know he's full-time at AEW. This upcoming week, AEW is going to show, because of the MLB playoffs, on a special day, Tuesday night, which puts them for the first time in a long time up against NXT. We've talked about multiple times how, Fruity Pebbles NXT couldn't stand up to Dynamite. So, things got moved around and all this other stuff, because it used to be the Wednesday night, quote unquote, wars. So we've got Edge on Dynamite on Tuesday. It's Tony Khan's birthday. And they're working together, cobbling together a nice little stack deck. They just did a title change for FTR. I like Ricky Starks. Not a fan of Big Bill. I'm a fan of Big Cass. But either way, we got new champions. There's new things happening. They're trying to spice it up with CM Punk being gone, bringing Edge in, and giving new opportunities. Don Callis is starting to pop up a little bit more. All these things are happening in AEW. WWE says, okay, so you're coming on our night. Let's just go ahead and pack the show. Let me know if I'm missing anybody. So we got John Cena on. Cody Rhodes making a special announcement. Paul Heyman's going to be there advocating for Braun Breaker. Who else? Becky's going to be having a match. Um, oh God,
Oscar's wrestling.
Oscar's
Oscar's
wrestling.
wrestling. Roxanne Perez.
Oscar's wrestling. Who else? There's a couple other people. There's some cameos we know that's going to happen. But the most interesting thing, just for the icing on a FU cake, is the gong at the end of the promotion for NXT. Like, we're just not going to stack the deck. We're just not going to have some matches and put some people out there and just make it a must-win situation. We've learned from our mistakes, and we are not going to WCW this thing and say, oh, that's going to put some butts in the seats. We're going to give you The Undertaker. Probably at the end of the night. So taking it back to old school 90s WWE, you're watching the entire show just for the 2.5 minute spot for Stone Cold to come out and do his thing. That's messed up and also badass at the same time. So I was curious to see what your guys' thoughts were. As you could just continue to see, like, Tony, you got to bring Jesus up in here, man, for real. He got to come down, raise up from the rafters or something like that and bless some people at this point. Bring the pizza guy, sign some other contracts for one night. I don't know. But, man, this is a stacked deck against AEW.
Yeah. Triple H is like, yeah, okay, well, like you said, you want to come on a night against us, okay. We got something for you. So,
I got the feeling there's gonna be one more petty move.
That Undertaker move was unfair, though. I mean, that was like
you ain't had to do that.
You had to do that. That was the big jump right there. That was like,
the memes alone, just with Tony looking like, come on, man.
Look, you already got the 10 on us, and then you're gonna run to Boston with the Joker big and Deuce of Spade and shit. What the hell?
Man, I think I got about 5. I can pull this off. Like, no, we about to run a board on this one, dog. And I know if you're a betting person, go ahead and put the money down. I guarantee you they're gonna have Jade show up. Can you imagine?
Oh yeah, Jade is gonna at least be in the crowd. She's gonna have a front row seat and have an appearance sometime during that show. They're not gonna have her in the ring. They're not gonna put her in the ring and have her doing promos until this new season starts. Maybe Friday night. Because Friday night's supposed to be the start of the new season.
For a face-to-face or something like that backstage. I wouldn't. Well, Dominic's the champion, so we know we're going to see Judgment Day there. So we could have a pass-by segment with Rhea Ripley, then walking by each other, all kind of stuff. And they probably going to do picture-in-picture.
Oh, they definitely gonna do picture-in-picture now. Come on, now,
You can't change the channel.
They're gonna do that.
Like, man, this is so disrespectful on every level.
But hey, it's you got to do what you got to do. If they're making it about ratings, because I mean, you got to realize the last time the last ratings that came out, I think was for was it SmackDown versus Rampage?
Yeah,
and it was only about 45,000 people difference between the two. That was kind of close.
Yeah, it was about 400,000 for just past NXT with all the stuff that was going on versus last week's Dynamite. So the star power was already
we talking about the same day, different times, but same day. So you talking about,
saying, they're already trending high with the insurgence of, the Becky Lynch's and all that other stuff happening, just in general. And then if we add all this star power and versus, yes, that's disrespectful. Disrespectful. And I can't even think. I've been kind of plugged out of the loop on UFC, But if there's a time to interject some TKO synergy, I would have Dana White there in the crowd just because a couple Ultimate Fighters, in the crowd. Hell, I'd dig up Tito Ortiz who's trying to become a wrestler and have him in the crowd. Just why not? Ken Shamrock, just why not? UFC Hall of Famer, why not? Just so that way, this is probably going to be the best episode of NXT. And we're not even talking about the wrestling. Just the star power. They damn near putting on the Oscars or the MTV Awards.
There's going to be something that they're holding back. They're not giving you everything. I mean, they just would giving you just enough to bring you in to make sure that that channel is on their programming. No telling what else they can pull out.
And KG, definitely chime in. Let me ask y'all the flip side of this. If you're Tony Khan and you're seeing the deck get stacked, I mean, we're basically, he's just looking up at Mount Rushmore right now, literally. She's speaking about probably going to see Flair. You know what I'm saying? They could bring Hogan down there. They probably would. What would you do or what can you do to make your product viable? Because you can't put all this on the back of Edge if Edge is not wrestling for a championship. He's got a match against Luchasaurus, but he's not wrestling for a championship.
You stun everybody and bring CM Punk back.
Well, we already got the rumors for CM Punk on Survivor Series.
I don't know if you do. I don't even think there is a comeback from this. Like, this is like I'm sitting here. I'm like, okay,
that Tony Khan could get for one day. I mean, shoot, they brought back Carlito. Hopefully, knock on wood, he's actually got a contract this time, and not just a one nighter. But
I'm sure
they're like Carlito. They burnt the bridge with Bret Hart, so they can't go that route with Bret, even though they have Owen locked in. They burnt the bridge with Eric Bischoff because Bischoff's locked.
How did they burn the bridge with Owen Hart?
I mean, with Bret Hart.
I mean, I'm sorry, with Bret Hart.
AEW burned their bridge with Bret Hart. How?
They didn't treat. He said they didn't treat him well enough backstage.
Oh.
He didn't. Oh. Not so much the TV side. We just didn't like the vibe. He said it just felt weird, and he didn't feel, like even when he walked into WCW, it was a better feel. Even though we know how that turned out, but still.
In other words, they didn't kiss his ass.
But Bret don't like that. That's the part he don't like. Because when he first went into WCW, they put him in the locker room by himself. And he had his name on the door and stuff like that. And he went to whoever was running things at the time. I don't think it was Bischoff yet. He told him, "Don't ever do that. Don't you ever do that. You put me in the locker room with the boys. Don't ever."
But I'm not even talking like that. I'm not even talking about that though, because you have to realize remember you had Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Jim Ross, Jake Roberts, Kevin Sullivan, all these legends who have worked with AEW, and they've all said the same thing. These youngsters do not respect us at all. So it wasn't even the fact that they kissed his ass. When I say kiss his ass, I mean they didn't show him the proper respect that they should have shown him as a legend, because they don't listen to anybody else. They don't listen to folks trying to tell them, give them advice on matches or how to deal with themselves outside the ring or dealing with themselves as far as preparing for the future or anything of that nature. They don't listen to that. So Bret probably went there and probably felt like he got dissed by the wrestlers.
Yeah, because you notice you got the only situation that has the word Owen and wrestling in the same category positively. You've got Owen Hart in a video game. You've had 2 Owen Hart memorial where they honor a man woman. But you don't have Bret Hart there. I understand, Owen's wife. That makes sense. That's good. But Bret Hart's not there for the final. That's when that there's something going on. So again, do you think maybe they can pop a Goldberg? Don't do a
Now
Ryback.
there
That's not to do
rumors
anything
about
for him.
AEW. There's been rumors about that. I don't know who. Okay, so other than Goldberg, we'll put Goldberg in the mix just because. Who else could they get that would be worthy enough for somebody to change the channel and come over to AEW?
Now, because we're talking billions, let's just throw out there that the non-compete could be fronted, that fee and the fines could be fronted by Tony Khan and Shad Khan. So if they have to, pull a power move, we could have Nick Nemeth, aka Dolph Ziggler, show up.
Yeah,
that'd be smart.
Yeah.
We could have Matt Cardona show up.
Yeah, he could show up for a one nighter. Yeah.
He's good for that.
I mean, why he's well. I mean,
who
going.
Got Tommy Tonga has been, dipping his toe in different waters.
Yeah, he's not have a strong enough following though. A lot of people not gonna know who he is. They made go in AEW.
That's AEW's MO. They bring people in, but I'm just for him. I would say if they did a media scrum after that, or just the dirt sheets and everything else, that'd be just something that his name would get out there and they would talk about it. I would bring, and KG, let me know what you think about this. I would bring Enzo Amore in.
As long as he calls somebody capital SOFT, soft.
Yep, and have him, have a walk by with Big Bill. But more importantly, if there's anybody that I would say you could give a hot mic to that could do a pipe bomb, but still be safe in reference to what's being said coming off the dome, I'd put my trust in Enzo. Because he's never lost the luster. He's still out there in the Indies doing his thing. So that would be one. Give him a hot mic and just, nobody would expect it. So it'll be like a Carlito moment. That could possibly get some channel changing just to see what he's going to say, but then you got to keep him. Who could they bring from New Japan that people would know? Because you got to think about tonight they said the Bullet Club and two founding members, the founding member and a former leader of the Bullet Club. So they're jabbing at AEW again doing Fastlane.
Wait a minute. You said a founding member?
Finn Balor. But they said that tonight. Michael Cole, he said, this is one
of okay. I missed. Yeah, founding member. Yeah, he is the founding member.
Right.
Not because he was the one who put Bullet Club together. He's the one who started it. So
so who could they bring in from New Japan or MLW or somewhere that has notoriety that could also be an easy get for a one night or just to see what may happen that people would know. They got Switchblade and they got Juice Robinson, so it's like, well, that takes them off the table. Who can they fly across the pond in a day?
Well, I would say Will Ospreay, but they've been doing that. They've been doing a lot with him lately.
Yeah.
So that's out.
And we just got Zack Sabre.
Okada is not really. He's a name, but he's not really in the position to, draw like that right now. Plus, he's in a thing with Impact Wrestling, so I doubt they would use him.
Not the first time that Impact or Tony Khan said, "Hey, look, I'm gonna cut you a big check. I just need him for a night. Impact needs to rub. I mean, they're making some moves over there. Heck, they could bring Trinity over. Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné has been talking about maybe making an appearance.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
but
they could have to just be out there.
yeah, they could have her just in the crowd. Yeah.
Athena.
They could have her in the crowd to counteract Jade.
Right.
Because that's actually what that would be for them to counteract Jade with Mercedes.
Or Jordan Grace or Deanna. For some other names that could be used. The Dudleys could show up. You got Edge and Christian.
The Dudleys could show up. Well, being that Edge and Christian are together, that kind of.
All you got to do is have a segment. The Dudleys are in the audience. Edge and Christian cutting a promo, and they look over and look at the Dudleys. If you just get that on camera, and then the Hardys just happen to be up in the rafters sitting down.
Or in the back watching television or watching the monitor.
Just for a shot. Nothing comes of it, just for a shot. Tony Khan, you better be watching the show. We laying this out for you, Tony. But think about that. That the crowd would go nuts. Just start chanting TLC out of nowhere. Anybody else? Now, KG?
If it wasn't for the fact that he was talking about retiring and the fact that he is talking about retiring, Richard Holiday was a former tag team partner of MJF in MLW with the group called The Dynasty.
Right.
And he's talking about retiring now. He's saying that his heart's not in it anymore. So for him to kind of come in and maybe do with MJF what Roderick Strong is doing to Adam Cole.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
KG, you about to say something? I saw you come off mute.
I can't think of anybody else. Like you name my top 3 or 4. Of course, Jordan Grace. Of course, Trinity Fatu. Those are the ones that I would love to see come over to AEW. But AEW has screwed us over so goddamn bad. They screwed us over almost as bad as WWE with their releases and then not using talent. So
I'd give a hot mic to Shelton Benjamin.
20 years I've put up in this company, and this is how they treat me. They threw me out with the rest of the trash.
If he could deliver a promo, he could write.
Have him pull a superstar Steve Austin on ECW TV.
Mm-hmm. Just come out there. All he needs is one good promo, and he can ride that for about at least a year. One good promo.
Imagine him joining the Mogul Embassy. Him and Swerve together. Oh my God. That'd be about as bad as Black Dynamite when there was him and MVP over in New Japan together.
Mm-hmm. All right. So if those are the folks, a little brainstorm on who they could bring in, who could they take advantage of that they already have? My first number 1 is Keith Lee. If you let Keith Lee be Keith Lee on Tuesday, Bask in My Glory could, if they took that could slowly but surely build to be the rival of Acknowledge Me, in my opinion, because we know how hot that was. That was the hot before Roman was the guy. So who else could they, really take advantage of?
Well, they could bring in Ryan Nemeth and have him try to cut some kind of promo to try to set up for his brother coming in. Maybe tease that they were going to be together. He's decent on the mic, but they could probably give him something that he can work with so that he can set up the tease of his brother coming in. Who else?
Do you think they could establish a GM? Like there could be some chaos, and then Tony's like, I'm sick of this. I'm tired of all this craziness, and I'm just gonna make an announcement. This is your new general manager, and it'd be a legend.
They're doing it for Ring of Honor.
Not Ricky Steamboat. I wouldn't put Ricky Steamboat in.
No.
Oh my God. If he's not under legend contract, can you imagine Tony Khan brings out as the general manager?
Don't say Teddy Long. Don't say Teddy Long.
Come on now. Tell me you wouldn't go nuts. Tell me you wouldn't go nuts.
No. First of all, I think he is under a Legends contract. Second of all, hell no.
Just no. Say, you know what, MJF? Tonight you're gonna go one-on-one with the
Undertaker.
But think about that. Undertaker on NXT, and then he says he stops right there with that. Oh man, the crowd would go nuts. They would just say to Undertaker, and then he'll say something heelish like, "Nah, player." Dang.
Oh God.
But it would just be a great moment if he was, he ain't doing nothing, he's just doing his podcast. But that would be pretty cool and funny. I'd mark out for that.
Nah, if you're gonna do that, even though I know this would never happen. This would never happen. But just since we fantasy booking, I wouldn't want to do that with Teddy Long.
Okay.
But I would love to see Jim Cornette do that.
Oh my God.
I would love to see Jim Cornette come out and just berate everybody and use all the different nicknames and whatnot. And so we're gonna have a tag team match tonight between Pockets.
the Cucamonga Kids.
Cucamonga Kids.
Oh man. That people be like, what the heck is happening on this show? But man, that would be so amazing. Or let FTR turn heel and he manage him. They got the song. It fits the vibe. He can make it work. That would combat Paul Heyman. So you got a legend versus a legend there. Trying to think, who else would be available. Kurt Angle ain't doing nothing. And I don't think Kurt's under a Legends contract.
No, I don't think Kurt is under any contract at all right now.
So you got Kurt available just because?
You got the whole Team Angle available.
Yeah, true that. So, I mean, Tony has the potential to go 100% Eric Bischoff this time. Don't give him creative control. Just cut a couple checks.
He's not trying to be in the ring, but the world's greatest tag team with Jim Cornette in the corner. With Kurt Angle in the corner.
Right.
Versus the Acclaimed with Daddy Ass in the corner.
That'd be interesting. Is Road Dogg's not under contract anymore either? I don't know if he's under Legends.
Isn't he still a agent with the WWE? I think he still loves it.
I
I
don't
think
know.
he's
I
still
know they let
working
him.
for
I thought they let him
AEW.
go. I haven't heard about him
They
coming
brought
back.
him back.
Well, this is the second. We're talking about the second time because they let him go and brought him back. Then they let him go again. This is maybe like 6 months to a year before the Endeavor let goes had just happened during COVID. I haven't heard of him coming back as an agent. But if he's not, one time only, the New Age Outlaw scissoring could be something.
Sean
Uh,
Waltman ain't doing nothing.
yeah, he ain't doing nothing. That could be something. Him and his little puppy, miniature, whatever that dog's type of dog breed is. That'd be exciting. Trying to brainstorm who else.
Have Road Dogg show up. Well, I think he might still be under contract. I think he's just hurt.
Who's that?
Let me make sure I got my. Let me make sure I got my. Okay, who? No, that won't work. I was thinking about having Road Dogg come back with our Truth.
Yeah, Truth is about to come back. He's under contract. Like they're working on a
He's still
Truth
in.
program. But if Truth was available, I would take out Shelton Benjamin and give us Ron Killings with a hot mic.
Right.
That would be a long time coming. But then at the same time, I'm looking forward to Truth coming back for some pure comedy because I've been missing a. That's on me. My bad. Because once in a while on my social media feed, that thing with him and Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar, where he
Yeah.
declared and undeclared himself into the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh man, even though I know it's coming, he's going to take Paul Heyman. The moment Brock is broken, I'm like, oh my God, he got him. I'll laugh every single time. So, needless to say, Tuesday is going to be a watch live and record the other type of night because one of the two shows is going to get you, and it's really going to come down to the intro. As soon as they get
Yeah.
the intro,
Whoever's going up first is going to probably keep whoever is going to do whatever they're going to stay with.
and I feel for well, actually, both of them have the possibility. If they go lineage, then we know Eric Bischoff has in the past utilized his connections with network to be able to start early. So the precedent is there from TBS, TNT to be able to start early. So if he pulls a 5 minute early special, then that could potentially be the difference if WWE is not thinking about that. But WWE used to be notorious for starting 5 minutes early just because they could and they had that relationship with USA. So certain times they would pull that to try to, get something going a little bit earlier versus Nitro. So one of these two shows could start 5 minutes early.
Well,
Just for social
WWE
media
does
play.
have USA does have that 3 minute buffer. Usually they'll start their shows, whatever show, like they'll put whatever the movie they just ended and put that in like picture in picture for the credits, and then they'll start that show like at whatever 57, at 7:57 or whatever the case may be. Because
Yeah.
even the WWE shows end 3 minutes early, 3 minutes
Right.
before the hour. So I'm sure they'll go over 5 minutes, if anything.
Yeah, it's gonna be
So
there's
yeah,
gonna be some liberties taken. So it's gonna be really interesting to see.
and hell,
And then
WWE's good for doing no commercials too.
yep. And WWE has the one advantage that AEW does not have. And that's that they can make a go home show for NXT on Monday. Whereas today is AEW. Collision done. Well, yesterday, since it's 12:01 a.m. Collision done, and there you go. So they do have one more extra advantage to really bring that home. So could we see Braun Breaker on Raw? Possibly. Could we see, Becky showing up on Raw to cut a promo? Possibly. Could we see?
You can see Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes because Carmelo's already been on Raw. I mean, you got Carmelo. You got John Cena in his corner.
Mm-hmm.
You got Braun Breaker with Paul Heyman in his corner. So you can see both of them on that show. It's not like Carmelo hasn't been on that show here the past few weeks anyway.
Could we see an urn in the background? Yep. or just a hat, in the background. I mean, there's so many things that could be done to really prime it for Tuesday. It's ridiculous. So Tony Khan's got a huge thing to plan, and we're not talking about his birthday party. So he could have a great day, or he could have an unhappy meal. It all depends on how it plays out and what he plans on doing to really. He's not going to beat it, but at least has to keep the pace. So looking forward to it. This will be 1 in a million type of situation because we're going into WrestleMania season. They're going to spend a bunch of money out there in Saudi Arabia. So who knows what's going to happen there. And then, we've got another answer to the question of how are we going to stretch this thing out so that way Cody can, have more time before we get to whether or not he's going to beat Roman at WrestleMania. So he's got the tag title thing going on. So that's a little bit more of a long-term storyline. And then, they can still move some pieces of the puzzle together on Raw and SmackDown before Survivor Series. And then after that, I think we'll start to see WrestleMania start to come into play. So, but tonight, that was just a lot of thinking about, what's coming up. Do you guys think there's anything coming out of the night besides the Money in the Bank briefcase that really could start folding and becoming a situation? I don't think Cena is going to be, anywhere close to WrestleMania match-wise or storyline-wise. Where would you put LA Knight for WrestleMania? Would he go up against Steph?
It'd be smart if he going for a championship. The dude's white hot. You can't keep holding him down and not using him. Like that's starting to really piss me off, man. Like you can't not use the guy. Come on, man. He's got the palm. He got everybody in the palm of his hands. Take advantage of it.
Right. What about you?
All I know is if they have somebody coming off of some steps in an anything goes match, they need to tighten up them pads and whatnot. Keep Seth from bouncing like he did tonight. That boy got some air after he hit that pad, whatever that was. I was like, damn. Which one was worse? Him hitting that mat or Jericho in that exploding ring match that he had with
No, I still think the current winner is freaking Darby Allin hitting those ring steps.
Oh yeah, that was nasty.
No matter how gentle Christian put him down, or like boom.
No, I wasn't gentle about that.
No, he protected him as much as he could. If you go back and look at it, he delivered the most textbook of body slams that you will ever see. But Gravity had a different thought about that. Because the way you could do that, man, you're gonna take the bump, and it's gonna hurt.
I mean, it was the fact that the way his head hit that bottom step. I mean, that's what made that nasty. I was like, damn, he could have broke his neck.
Yeah. At least we know that there's some insurance down there. So if he does get injured, they have wrestlers insurance offered to them. But yeah, talk about taking years off. Like at least go into a Hell in a Cell or something, or Elimination Chamber, Darby, and make it realistic. Like, yeah, this is going to take some years off your career, not the ring steps. That took about 10 years right there. I can guarantee it. Clean. Shoot, ask Kenny Omega. We know he on borrowed time too. So, what about on the women's side? You think anything WrestleMania long term? Is Io gonna be champion by Mania?
I think so, and they'll probably set up Bianca to get the belt back, and then be trying to bring in Jade slowly to go up against her at some point, maybe SummerSlam.
Well, I was thinking next year's WrestleMania, but I was thinking for this. Well, I mean the year after's.
I
For
don't think
Agree.
with Jade, I think they're gonna start her fast because they paying her too much money to sit on her too long.
well, I mean between her and Bianca, I would stretch that out. I was thinking that Charlotte would be her number one rival to begin with. What do you think?
Yeah,
That way,
yeah, that could work.
Charlotte's safe. She could help. She could learn a lot from Charlotte, and then I would go from Charlotte to Nia Jax. I would go Charlotte, Nia Jax, Rhea Ripley, and then Bianca. What do you think?
That's a pretty decent order. I can see that.
KG, what do you think?
It's gonna start out. It's gonna end. It's gonna start out like that, but it's gonna end up being uh Bianca. It's always gonna come back to Bianca, no matter how you slice it. It's gonna come back to Bianca.
Now they could do a traditional Survivor Series match and then have them face each other. They could be in a tag match against each other, but that one on one, I would hold that and let that build up, and then eventually when it happens, that's billions of dollars. That's main event on night two. You know, then that'll be uh the second time, right? Or was it the first? Yeah, that'd be the second time that there was two black women in the main event of WrestleMania because the first one was Bianca and Sasha Banks.
Sasha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think revenue wise, this would eclipse that. The question is, where would you put it? What arena? What stadium would be big enough? Because they're at least good. Those two have the stadium, guaranteed. So they just have to sell out the other half. So we'll wrap up with this one. What would you do with, and I'm calling it the new Hurt Business. Where are we going with this? Where would you go with the new Hurt Business? Are we going to call it the Hurt Business? Are you going to bring
No.
back MVP and Omos? Or, I mean, where are we going? There's got to be
The Hurt business.
some direction.
The Hurt Business is not the Hurt Business without MVP, in my opinion.
Right. I agree.
So I wouldn't call it the Hurt Business. That's why they haven't put that on name. I'm thinking that's why they haven't put that name on them. Even though they were wearing their colors tonight.
Yeah, they were. I was pumped to see that.
But I don't know. I mean, Street Profits versus Cody and Jay would be a decent matchup. Try to get the belts back on the Street Profits.
Yeah, because it's looking like factions are the new tag team. The factions are popping up out of nowhere. LWO, the Bloodline, Judgment Day.
Well, yeah, they come off of the meet and three concept that they had for a while. And when I say that, I mean three men and a woman.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing that for a good while between Judgment Day. They did it with Schism over in NXT. They did it with they've done a few what is it? Diamond Mine had that concept. They were doing that for a while. LWO,
Mm-hmm.
even though they had one extra guy in, but still. But you are looking at a lot of factions now in WWE more than you've had in the past. What would be a good faction for them? Because they're on SmackDown, right? Or they on Raw?
They are Raw.
They're Raw. And I think they're getting ready to get rid of the brand split as well. At least that's what they've been talking about. In this new season, they may be getting rid of the brand split. So Lashley and the Street Profits versus Imperium.
Yes.
I could see that.
Yes.
I could see that. That would be probably the best thing because that puts Lashley in contention for the Intercontinental belt.
That'd be a good look. But I think they have
And then,
to run through the LWO so he can take the U.S. title.
well, he's had the U.S. title on numerous occasions.
I know,
So
but here's what I would do with it. He would take it and just give it to Montez Ford. Because now I'm going after the Intercontinental title. Then I'm going to take that, and then I'm going to go after the world title. And that's how you could kind of pseudo put a belt on Montez and see what he would do with it. But he could still be in the safe space of a tag team, but you got another layer of opportunity. They can win the tag team titles. That would give Montez 2 belts, and then Dawkins would still have a championship. But I would say Dawkins tonight, that is the best performance I've ever seen him do. You know, his athleticism has definitely increased. So the work he's been doing is paying off. I was like, holy heck. You know, if this is how Dawkins is going to be going forward, if they break up the Street Profits, he's fine. And that's the number one takeaway I got out of that match. Dawkins is going to be fine. But that's what I would do. Lashley takes the belt off of Ray because, I mean, you know, it's Rey Mysterio. And it doesn't even have to be a clean thing. It could be still Dominic with an interference just because, or Rhea Ripley with interference just because they cost him the belt. Because we still have to keep that long-term storyline angle and keep the heat on Dominic. And that's how, you know, U.S. title gets lost. And they just gives it, hey, I don't want this belt. I got bigger things on my plate. I'm eyeing something else. You know, they can bump into the bloodline. Him and Roman could come face to face. Lashley and Roman a couple times. You know, is there a problem? You know, and then the two of them just stare at each other and you cut the commercial. So we know that he's got eyes on Roman. Or if Roman loses to Cody, then that gives a top heel for Cody to go after. So that's a whole new feud right there that we haven't seen. But if it's possible, down the road in the bidding war of 2024, I would love for the WWE to go after Powerhouse Hobbs and put him with Bobby Lashley. Because there's nobody right now that is nurturing Hobbs other than, you know, his feud with Miro was quick. But if he's under the right umbrella, that dude could be, you know, fire. And they're not using him right. Now
I prefer to see I prefer to see Hobbs under MVP.
Well, I mean, I just want him under the WWE umbrella. I still believe that MVP is going to come back with Lashley and Omos. This could be the last official polishing that Omos needs to become great. He got a lot from AJ Styles. He cut out the "this is my house" thing. He's working a lot more fluid, but there's still more for him to get. And MVP being the mouthpiece is great, but you know what I'm saying? Him being a big man, but still you got a big man like Bobby Lashley there that can still put the work in. He can learn a lot from that. He could, in mixed tag matches or random tag matches with the New Day, he could learn a lot. Of him and I guess we could say, Montez, him and Montez in the tag team against the New Day. We could see something happen with that. Or if we can't get Powerhouse Hobbs, Big E can do a heel turn. Knock on wood, please let him be able to come back and be healthy in his day and age. I would love to see his career continue. He could come back and be another member of this group. And then they face a New Day. I don't know. That's my thoughts. So you internalizing all that, James.
Yeah, my wheels are spinning. Yeah.
KG, you got any notes on this you want to throw out there?
No. I'm with you, fellas.
All right. James, any final thoughts?
No, I mean, it was a pretty decent pay-per-view for the 5 matches that they put on. It was they I'm glad they kind of left it at 5. That gave everybody plenty of time to do what they needed to do, get all this shit in, and kind of can tell some decent stories. We'll just have to see where this leads into going into Crown Jewel. See if anything comes out of Crown Jewel. Usually, Crown Jewel is just Crown Jewel, just something for them to the Saudis to look at, since they paid for it. They get what they want.
Here's a question about Crown Jewel. What are they going to do now that Mansoor is gone? Who's going to be the golden boy to win everything?
They don't even care at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a crapshoot now. Yeah, I'm sure they'll figure out somebody that they want to latch on to.
They'll just bring another nostalgia person. We know that's what they're all about anyway, just to make up for it. So
Khali is talking about coming back into the ring. They could bring him back in.
Mm-hmm. Hell, they may say, "Hey, Sean, get a couple super kicks in." They could do a DX reunion.
We haven't seen Indus in a while, but with your boy.
No, we can chill in a DX reunion. Please don't do that.
Jinder Mahal.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
I like Indus.
I would be mad at Jinder Mahal getting some love. I thought he was a great heel.
I like Indus. They're almost a throwback if you treat them right. If you do them, if you give, they're a throwback tag team for that's a Vince tag team.
Mm-hmm.
If they work them right.
Here's the thing. WWE is not going to use Jinder Mahal because they're not going to use him right. If you want to use Jinder Mahal right, you put him in a program with him and Drew McIntyre going back and forth, him and Omos, they just battling, and then it wind up being, Jinder Mahal versus Seth for the title. Jinder Mahal is a main eventer, but they treat him like a lower mid carder, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Right now, he ain't even wrestling right now. He's just a manager for the most part.
But they do Drew McIntyre the same way, another main eventer that they treat as a lower mid carder.
Well, they fed us too much, Drew. Kind of like when they was giving John Cena versus the World beating everybody. Drew was a pandemic, darling. Every time we turn around, Drew McIntyre, Drew McIntyre, Drew McIntyre. What we gonna do now? Well, let's have him be friends with Sheamus and they can be a tag team. Nope, let's have them be heels again and fight each other. Drew McIntyre, Drew McIntyre. I'm like, oh my God, I was sick of Drew. I said it on the show. I'm just tired of Drew McIntyre.
Put him against Gunter.
Yeah, too much. So I'm happy with the little bit of Drew that we have. That's good. And give him time to, get back in there and get into the mix when it's necessary. Let him lose a little bit. So that way we don't have to have the expectation that a Claymore, there you go. Well, Drew won that one. So, I think that's smart. The machine is fixing a mistake. And then it'll work its way out. But it's not Drew's fault. I mean, they needed somebody to lean on. People was getting COVID. So Drew was the guy, and he carried it on his back. And then Roman took over, and the rest is history. But Drew's not going to beat Roman. But Drew could beat Cody. 6 months into his title reign, maybe. We just got to get Cody there. And then after that, he's got to have somebody that he can face that can, really make it a must watch. We don't want him to be, all right, he's great chasing, but now he's got it. Now what? So that's where Drew could come in at. Shoot, you could go as far as Drew caused an interference, and then Cody gets the pin just because it's like, I could either wait and not take advantage of this, or I'm going to go get this pin so that way I can win the belt. Cody's morally challenged with that. And then Drew's, he did it so that way he could cash in his opportunity. I set it up for you. You took advantage. Now I need my title shot. You're welcome. You get to walk around with the belt. You owe me. That could be an avenue that nobody would expect to see at WrestleMania. You just think Cody would win clean. But, we know Cody's going up against the bloodline, so he's outnumbered. Drew could, take out Solo, could take out Jay or Jimmy, depending on, whatever's happening at that point. And then, just a nice little knockout of Roman while the ref's not looking. There you go. I'd be cool with that. Any final thoughts, KG, before we wrap this up, B?
Nah, nothing for me. I'm disappointed in this loss today, but it's been a week of disappointment. Started on Thursday, and here we are on Saturday. It's another loss. Something I should have won if I'd have trusted my heart and picked LWO like I started. Yeah.
That's okay. That's all right. I still got love for you, bro.
Says the man that used to yell at me because I left Jump Zone unattended.
Well, you leaving that belt unattended now because it's mine, sucker.
That's okay. That's all right. You know what? I'm gonna go back to ESPN Zone, get hired just so I can leave Jump Zone unattended, so I can grind your damn gears.
That's all right. I'm gonna go ahead and have you clean those stanchions, and they better be shiny, especially the base.
Wow.
You all right, James?
I had a flashback. You can't be doing that stuff like that.
Oh man, let's get over there.
Night cleaners that we used to have to do back in the day.
Uh-huh. There you go. Gotta keep your standards up. So
Yeah, I've been one particular overnight cleaning. I left my daggone keys, and oh man, my mom was so mad because I had to knock on the door to get in, and it was like 2 a.m. She was pissed at me.
all right, well, we're gonna do overtime. We did our time. Diversify your bonds, mother suckers.
Konnichiwa, bitches.